Since the second half starting soon in Major League Baseball, I figured why not give my thoughts on what will happen for the 2017 second half of the baseball season. So I'm going to start off with the American League first and move my way all the way to the eventual World Series prediction, my updated World Series prediction, because in my original video, I thought it was going to be the Houston Astros versus the Chicago Cubs for the World Series, with the Houston Astros winning in 6 games. You know, I'm pretty happy about that because I did put some money on the Astros to win this year. I'm looking very good. Put $10 on them. Looking really strong right now at the beginning of 14-1 odds, very looking good right now. So let's go ahead and look into seeing what will happen in the rest of the baseball season. So starting out, I'm going to go in the American League West, probably the easiest one to go through. American League West, I have in 5th place the Oakland Athletics. They do not look good. They're pretty bad. They're going to be big traders on the deadline. They're looking to be one of the worst teams in professional baseball, like they always are, because they're complete crap. Next up, number 4th place, I will see the Texas Rangers finishing in 4th place. I think the Texas Rangers are going to be a bit worse than a couple other teams going down the road. The American League West, pretty much, except for the Astros, is really complete garbage tier teams. But, they could surprise us. But you never know. So I have the Rangers in 4th place. In 3rd place, I have the Los Angeles Angels. I think the Angels will be very solid. They've been playing pretty decent baseball, but in the end, I think that pitching is going to be very tough. I think that the problem is how long is Trout going to be out and when is he coming back. But I think the Angels will probably finish 3rd. I think it's going to be, when he does come out, it's going to be a little bit too late, unfortunately. And in 2nd place, I have the Seattle Mariners. I think the Mariners are going to have a great second half of this year. I think their hitting is going to get a bit better, especially with Nelson Cruz getting into his last bit of his seasons. You got King Felix there still. I think the Mariners need to make the playoffs, and I think they still have a chance, since definitely the American League is a little bit wide open. That's just pretty much my opinion. And in 1st place, I think this will have the team that will have 107 wins. I'm calling it right now. They're going to finish up 47 wins in the second half. The Houston Astros. My original World Series American League pick. Looking very strong right now. They are 16.5 games ahead of the Los Angeles Angels in standings. The Astros will win the division, barring some kind of miracle. But the Astros winning the division, I think they will be the number 1 seed. Next up, the American League Central. I got the Chicago White Sox finishing in 5th place. The Chicago White Sox, they're bad. They trade away Jose Quintana for prospects. That's definitely something they could look. This is more of a rebuilding team right now. The White Sox are definitely looking more towards the future. So, yeah, really nothing really going on right there. 4th place, I got the Detroit Tigers. I think the Tigers are there, but, they're wasting Miguel Cabrera's career, and there really isn't much else to say. 3rd place, I got the Minnesota Twins. I think the Twins are unfortunately going to have a little bit of a setback, but, I think they will be a strong team. Later on the year, they'll give them the AL's competitive fight, but really no one else. 2nd place, I have the Kansas City Royals. I think the Royals are a pretty good team, but, they are not looking up to their second half moniker of World Series champions a few years back. They really haven't done much, and it could be another okay year. But I think they'll have a decent second half, though. I think they'll do better than Minnesota, Detroit, and Chicago, that's for sure. And in 1st place, I think the Cleveland Indians will win. This is my 2nd pick for the American League to win to go to the World Series. Cleveland's looking pretty strong, even though it's a very close race right now. I think Cleveland is a bit of a stronger team than the rest of the American League Central, and I think the second half will prove that. So that's my American Central. Then you have the American League East. I have, from 5th place, I have the Toronto Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are a good team, but their pitching is killing them, and their hitting is really strong. But unfortunately, they really have nothing to do to back that up. In fourth place, I have the Tampa Bay Rays. I think the Rays will finish off really poorly in the second half. I don't think they'll have a very good second half. Not as bad as Toronto, but, I just don't think they're going to be that good this kind of second half of the year. Next up is the third place, the Baltimore Orioles. I think the Orioles need some help. They need it quick because if not, they're going to go another year out of the playoffs. In second place, I have the New York Yankees. I think the Yankees are a very strong team, especially with the home run derby champion Aaron Judge. He looks really good, and the Yankees prospects are definitely starting to really come together. They had a really tough ending to the first half of the season, but I think the second half will be pretty bright for them, and I think they can get a wild card spot. And in first place, I have the Boston Red Sox, unfortunately. I cannot stand the Red Sox. I cannot stand them. I do not like this team, but yep. I wish it was Tampa Bay, but you know what? You have the Red Sox. So, yeah, that's what we got for Boston Red Sox. They're a good team, very good hitters, but I don't think they'll go very far. So, if that being said, I got my 5 teams in the American League are the Houston Astros, the first seed. The second seed, the Cleveland Indians. The third seed, the Boston Red Sox. The fourth seed, the New York Yankees. And the fifth seed, the Seattle Mariners. Those are my 5. I think for the predictions for the American League, I have the Seattle Mariners defeating the New York Yankees. I have the Astros defeating the Mariners. I have the Cleveland Indians beating the Red Sox. And I have the Astros beating the Cleveland Indians. In games, the wild card game will be 1 game. I'm picking Houston in 3. I'm picking Cleveland in 5. And I'm picking Houston in 5. Now let's move on to the National League. National League, starting out with the East, since we ended on the American East. Now we're going to the National East. Worst team in the league, the Philadelphia Phillies. What more can be said? They're completely garbage. Fourth place, I'm picking the New York Mets. I think the Mets are in trouble right now. They do not have consistent hitting. They do not have the best pitching around. It's going to be tough for them to really have a great second half. I just don't think they're really going to do much in the second half. Third place, the Atlanta Braves. I think the Braves are definitely improving. Dansby Swanson's definitely going to be a contender definitely going to help the Braves out, but in the end, the Braves, unfortunately, are still in rebuilding mode, unfortunately. Second place, the Miami Marlins. I think the Marlins should be in the second place team because you know what? If they have a season where at least competing with the Nationals for that division title, I'll be happy because the Marlins need something, honestly. They really need to have a decent season in remembrance of Jose Fernandez. Could they pull off something crazy in the second half? They could. So, yeah, I'm giving the Marlins the second place seed. And with the first place team, the Washington Nationals. I think the Nationals are just going to barely hold off the Miami Marlins for the last. And for the division winner, it'll be very close. But I think that the Nationals will probably win by a few games at the very end of the season, unfortunately. But I think the Nationals will have a mixed second half, probably more bad. I think the Marlins will definitely catch up because they're only 10.5 games out. They could definitely pull off something. The National League Central. Oh, this is such a bad division this year. Fourth place, last place, Cincinnati Reds. Easy to be called that. The Reds start off really strong this year, then completely took a dump in the second half of the first half, and then they're going to have a terrible second half. They are embracing the tank. Fourth place, I got the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates are unfortunately going through a tough time right now. Kutch is probably going to get traded. There's a lot of young talent there. They do have some talent. Marte could be coming back, but still looking tough for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Third place, I think the Brewers are going to completely fall apart in the second half. They have a good young team, but I think the Brewers are going to completely collapse in the second half, completely blowing the division lead. I think they're going to completely blow it. getting themselves into third place. I think they're going to have a terrible second half, and that's just my prediction for that. The second place team, the St. Louis Cardinals. I think that actually, no. You know what? I'm doing it. Screw it. I'm saying it. Second place is Chicago Cubs. I think the Cubs will not make it back to the postseason. I think they're going to have the postseason hangover. It's going to be like the World Series winner and then completely missing the playoffs. I think they'll finish right at 500 and winning the division, the St. Louis Cardinals. I think they'll win against the Cubs by 1 game. I think they'll be 83 and 81, while the Cubs will be 82 and 82. 81 and 81. I think it'll be 83. No, 82 and 80 is what I meant to say. 82 and 80. I'm sorry. So 82 and 80. I think the Cardinals will win the division by 1 game. I think the Brewers are going to go completely terrible second half, though. That's just how I feel. Next up is the last division, the National League West. Last place, San Francisco Giants. Yes, thank you. Thank you, baseball gods. You're out there. Thank you. The Giants are terrible. I love every bit of it. I hate the Giants, so thank you for giving us a terrible Giants team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fourth place, the San Diego Padres. I would just love it if the Padres finish ahead of the Giants, just to say, screw you, Giants fans. Welcome. You had your time as a top team, and now you're going to be in the tanker for the next couple of years. Good luck, Padres. Third place is the Colorado Rockies. Rockies look really strong right now. They have great hitting. Their pitching is going to be where they're really going to have to show up. Second place is the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think they'll have another strong year. And in first place, the outright winner of the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers look like the best team, one of the best teams in baseball. They're looking very strong each and every week. They're such a great team. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. So, yeah, I got the Dodgers. So, that being said, my top teams are the Dodgers. Teams. Number 1, Dodgers. Number 2, the Washington Nationals. Number 3, the St. Louis Cardinals. The 4th seed, the Arizona Diamondbacks. And the 5th seed, the Colorado Rockies. The wild card game will be the Arizona Diamondbacks over the Rockies. I got the Dodgers over the Diamondbacks in 4 games. And I have the Cardinals over the Nationals in 5 games. And with that being said, it'll be the National League playoffs, the championship series, the Dodgers versus the Cardinals. How well have they played against the Dodgers this year? That's what I really want to know. If I want to preview the Cardinals-Dodgers second half for the National League Championship Series, because I honestly think Milwaukee's just going to completely crap the bed at the second half. Need this thing load. And that's why it's on the terrible Wi-Fi. It's not the good Wi-Fi. Load, dang you. Okay, so let's take a look. They lost 4 out of their 6 games. Oh, that's not good. So, yeah, they lost 4 out of their 6 games so far against the Dodgers. Doesn't look really good for the rest of the season, but I could be wrong. You know, they could completely turn this thing around. They have the Dodgers again, I think. I'm not sure. Do they have them again? I'm looking that up right now. Doesn't look like they do. No. No, they don't. So if they were to play the Dodgers again, they lost 4 out of 6 in April. It's going to be a tough series, but the Cardinals could do it. But you know what? I honestly think it'd be way too tough. I think the Cardinals' magic runs out. If the Cardinals get that far in the season, I'll consider it a success. But the Dodgers, in my opinion, are going to win the National League pennant. Setting up for a fantastic World Series, the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Houston Astros. And the American League would be the host of the World Series this year since they did what was it? Oh yeah, they won the All-Star game, so they would host the World Series. And if I had to pick who would win this World Series, I think home field advantage is way too hard to lose. I say the Houston Astros defeat the Dodgers in 6 games to win their first World Series title. I just think Houston's offense would be too great for Los Angeles to handle, even though the pitching edge would go to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Who knows? Could Kershaw blow it in the World Series? He could, but I just think the Houston Astros, if I had to pick a team to win, it would be the Houston Astros. And it would be good for the Florida market too, since West Palm Beach has the Astros. So I'd be looking forward to that. So yeah, as a Cardinals fan myself, Cardinals Pirates fan, I'm hoping for the best for both teams, but I want to see the Cardinals really do well. Just in the second half, I think they have a very good shot at doing well in the second half. If the Brewers blow it, which I think they will, the Cardinals can easily win the division because the Cubs do not look like a very good team right now. So yeah, if I had to pick my winners for each of the divisions, lock them up, it would be for the American League, the Astros, the Red Sox, and the Indians. And then my wild card teams would be the Yankees and the Mariners. For the National League, the Dodgers, the Nationals, the Cardinals. Wild card teams, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies. That being said, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you guys all for tuning in. See you later. Stay awesome. Have a great night. Go Cardinals.